morning. Welcome everybody. I'll give you a couple minutes to join, to find us. We are live from Brooklyn and it is very cold here today. I hope you're staying warm and cuddled in. Maybe you're even watching this from underneath the sheets. That would be very luxurious. Let's give you a moment to come in. Welcome. Hi, everybody. Aw, thanks for the hearts. Great. Oh. Hi, Hardy. Thanks for joining. Yay. We have people from all around the world. Amazing. Well, welcome. Good morning. I'm Jessa Zinn. I'm the founder of the Zinn Method, and I'm so glad you're here. If you're here, chances are it's because you've experienced pain or tightness or stiffness, and you've done the things that you know to do. You have your mobility routine, you have your yoga classes, your Pilates classes, and I love them all. But if you're here, chances are you haven't found lasting change. You might have found temporary relief, but it hasn't stuck. And that can leave us baffled, confused, frustrated. And a lot of times, particularly as women, we make the next step to say, oh, I must be doing something wrong. What's wrong with me? I'm broken. And over time, this narrative can build in a self-defeating way. And so I'm here, I developed the Zinn Method to sort of change this conversation. Because so often what is missing is not that you're doing something wrong. We just haven't started from the right place yet. We haven't figured out what that pattern is that we need to resolve yet. We've chased the symptom, we've chased the pain, but we haven't taken the lens back and figured out what the pattern is of movement. And that's what we're going to talk about today. How do you move from just the pain point, trying to resolve the specific point of pain, and move into how to recognize, assess the pattern of movement, and find lasting change by changing that. So let's take a moment to understand fascia, because fascia is often the missing link here. Fascia is the connective tissue that wraps around absolutely everything in the body. It's continuous and it's seamless. And what that means is as it wraps around muscle, bone, nerve, it is this piece of fabric that connects absolutely everything in the body. So what does that actually mean in terms of relieving pain? So we've all had the experience of having our shirt tucked in too tightly at the waist. We know that our shirt is tucked too tightly at the waist because we feel it pull diagonally into the opposite shoulder and neck. So we have tension in the shoulder and the neck, but we don't yank at the material here to resolve the issue. We know that that tightness is because the material is getting pulled down at our waist. So we untuck the shirt, we reorganize the material, and lo and behold, our shoulder and our neck tightness and tension relieve. So that's what I want us to learn how to do in our own structures. Instead of chasing the ways in which, the places in which we feel tightness, I want us to pull the lens back and actually change the patterns that are creating those pain points. So we do that in the Zinn Method 3 ways. We map, which is a self-assessment. We sort of take ourselves through, well, how do I know why I'm tight, where I'm tight, so I therefore know what to do about it. Then, after gathering that information, we release. And then finally we activate so that we stabilize and are able to integrate those changes into our bodies and into our life. So today we're going to think about a very common issue that I get, tight hamstrings. So people come to me all the time and they say, oh my goodness, I've never been able to touch the floor. I stretch my hamstrings all the time. Maybe I get momentary relief, but it doesn't hold. So then the issue has to be something else. It's not that you're doing it wrong. It's not that you're broken. It's that we haven't asked the right question yet. So today's no props, just our body. And I want you to come and stand. Bring your feet directly underneath your pelvis, your shoulders directly over the pelvis. Feet are hip distance apart. Close the eyes just for a moment. I'll turn to face you for this part, but then I want you to see the next movement from the side. So the feet are underneath the pelvis. The shoulders are over the pelvis. Open the palms, close the eyes. Find your collarbones and breathe. Just take a moment. Feel the feet. Sense into your body. Find your ribs. You can even take your hands onto your side ribs. Now, as you do this, the shoulders want to come up towards the ears. So pull the shoulders down. Breathe laterally into your hands. Inhale. The hands expand. Maintain that kind of breath, that lateral breathing, and release the palms. Breathe here. Good. So we sense into and we connect to our bodies before we begin our movement practice. We sense into the negative space inside our structure. One more breath here, make it the biggest. Inhale, really expand those ribs laterally. And exhale, welcome. I'll turn to the side. I want you to watch me for a moment. So we'll just gently roll down the spine to see without force. So that's the thing that happens, is we say, oh, I want to achieve mobility. I want more length in my hamstrings. Therefore, let me try harder. Therefore, let me effort more. Not here. We need to signal to the body that we're listening, that we're receiving information, and that we will respond respectfully and accordingly without force. This is not an effortful practice. This is a receptive practice that allows the nervous system to down-regulate. Bring the chin towards the chest. Pause there. Roll down your spine. Let the arms dangle. Feel the four corners of the feet. Let the knees soften. Good. Rolling down. Noticing vertebra by vertebra what's happening. My glasses may fall off. I'll put them off in anticipation. Good. And just notice as you're doing this assessment, as you're mapping here, where do you naturally stop? So today, I haven't done any movement yet. I walked my dog and was setting up for us. So this is where I naturally come to. I'll drop my head. Good. We'll return back to this. Roll back up. Press into the four corners of the feet. Stacking vertebra by vertebra. We'll come back to this after our practice. So come onto your hands and knees. What I want you to notice is that we're opening up our hamstrings, not by addressing the hamstrings, but by opening up sheets of fabric that we call fascia that have to do with that hamstring tightness. Inhale, lift up. So simple cat and cow here. We warm up, we get mobile we mobilize the sheets of fabric of our back. So I'm moving my pelvis over my thigh bones, over my femur bones. I'm bringing my chest between the hands. And now press into the four corners of the hand, round the spine, and really breathe into that back body. Good. 3 deep breaths. Imagine that your hands are on your side ribs still, and you're expanding into them. Breathe. Beautiful. And now come to a flat back. Bring your knees wide. Keep your feet where your big toes can touch. And now rock into child's pose. And come back up. So we're working with the big posterior layers of fascia. Fascia is layered. There's 3 layers to it. And ideally, those layers glide. But when we only move in the same direction, when we do not move multi-directionally, those sheets of fabric get dehydrated and they stick together. And that limits our movement, just like the demo with the shirt. It limits our movement elsewhere. We don't necessarily feel it where we're tight. Good. Come back onto your hands and knees. Come on up. Take your left foot forward. Come into a lunge. Inhale and exhale. Just gently rock back and forth. Now you'll notice I'm not straightening that front leg. I'm just warming up those layers of fascia. Back and forth. Good. 2 more. Breathing. Hi, thanks for all the waves. Welcome, good morning. Now stay here and rotate that left arm up. I apologize for having my back to you, but rotate that left arm up. Bring the hand behind the head, bring that elbow back in, and rotate up. So we do this 10 times total. 2, 3. Feel that back body. Feel those layers of fascia opening, releasing. Breathe into your side body. 2 more. Good. And release. Bring both hands onto the floor. Tuck your back toes under. Lift the leg. Keep your left hand down. Take your right arm up and lower down. Bring the hand behind the head, and we do the same thing in the other direction. If you need your knee on the ground, feel free to do so. Again, this is not the place, our recovery program is not the place where we effort. I love efforting at a gym. I'm a CrossFitter, I love heavy weights, I love pushing hard. But when it comes to our recovery, we need to learn a different set of tools. We need to learn how to listen and how to go softly and slowly. Release. Come into cat and cow again. Now, we went through mapping. We just did a release. I now return to mapping. I want you to feel how you've changed those layers of tissue. Now remember, we have done nothing really to open up the hamstrings yet. But at the end, we're going to reassess how much hamstring release we have by opening up the sheaths of fabric. Good. Bring your right leg forward, back knee is on the ground, hand behind the head, rotate up, and bring it down 10 times. Rotate up, inhale, and down. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, 4, I think. Exhale. Breathe with me. 7, 8, 2 more. Good. 10. Lift your back leg. Bring both hands down. Bring your left hand behind. Again, you can do it this way, rotating to the left, or my balance is not there today. I'm going to keep my left knee down. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, opening. Now I'm pressing my right knee into my right arm. You can elevate that right hand onto a block, a yoga block, onto books. You can minimize the movement. You can hold your elbow instead of coming into the rotations. We listen and adjust accordingly. Good. 1 more. Release, come onto your hands and knees again. And this time, child's pose, back and forth. Notice how much more space you have. Notice the lack of resistance. And you can recognize that by how far back you can go with ease. Is there less strain? Good. And now release. Come and stand. And as we began, bring your feet under your pelvis, your shoulders over your hips. Close the eyes and breathe. Now first, take note of how that lateral breath is easier, is more accessible. Place your hands on your rib cage again. I'll turn to face you one more time. And notice how it's easier to expand laterally. Good. And now returning to our original assessment, chin to the chest, roll down the spine, keep the head heavy, 1 vertebra at a time. And remember, we're assessing our hamstrings, right? And just notice if you're able to come lower by opening up that movement pattern, that diagonal sheath of fascia. Breathe here. And now roll all the way back up. Good. Amazing. Now, activation. So how do we stabilize this? We're going to stabilize the core. So come on to your hands and knees again. Bring your forearms down. Tuck your toes and lift up into a plank. We're going to hold it together for 30 seconds. Now, if it's too intense for you with the knees up, lower the knees down. The other option, which is one of my favorite things to do, is to place your heels on a wall. So you press back into that wall, which activates your core even more. And by activating the core, we're going to allow the body to stabilize the movement. We integrate the change into our structures. Good. Three, 2, and 1. Release. grabbing my glasses. So there we are. Thank you so much for joining, and I can't wait to hear your questions or to read your questions. But that is what I teach you to do in the Zinn method. How do we understand in a clearer way what's actually going on in our body? So we're not just chasing pain all the time, but actually understanding what our movement pattern is, what our holding, you're welcome, Kelly, what our holding patterns are, and what to do about it. We think, we get ourselves into this sort of cycle. It's like, oh, this keeps hurting, or I have this chronic shoulder issue. Let me work harder. It's not working harder. It's working smarter. And to work smarter, we have to first learn how to listen. We have to understand what are the patterns, what are the meridians, how does fascia work? What are the lines of fascia? And then how do I assess which one is tight in my structure? And then how do I release it? And it's so exciting to me when I see people make these connections for the first time, because it's like, oh my gosh, I've had this neck issue my whole life, and now I actually understand that it's not so much a neck issue, but it's a shoulder issue. And when I focus on my shoulder, my neck no longer hurts. And that's the kind of connection and agency that I want women to have for themselves, so that it's not to put myself out of work as a body worker. I love what I do, but I do think it's part of my responsibility to educate you. And I feel in my observation we could do better there. And so what I'm doing in the Zinn method is teaching you how to understand, listen, and make lasting changes in your own structure. It's such an honor and a privilege to work with you. There's a question about live classes. Yes. So once a week, we have a live class. And in part of that live class is that I posturally assess you. So in my private practice, people come in, and a huge part of what I do with my clients is that I take them through an assessment. And so in the platform, I actually help you to do that as well. So in the live classes, we go through a series of movements: mapping, assessment, releasing, activation, and then there's always a Q&A time after. So we can get very specific and drill into, well, what's working in your structure? What are your questions about how to use these tools? So it's very specific, it's very personalized. But then in addition, there's my courses. So there's 21-day mobility courses that take you through 21 days of how do you do this on your own. Then there's the quick fixes. So how I wake up and my neck is stiff, I just want to do a 10-minute mobility release for that. And then there's therapy plans. So I didn't just wake up with a neck or shoulder issue. It's been nagging at me for a really long time. And I want to understand, and I want to move slowly and with a little bit more control to understand what's not working. So my therapy plans are 10 days long, and those are pain point specific. So we have the live classes where you get postural assessment. We have the 21-day course where you do a deep dive. We have the quick fix mobility flows, 10 minutes of movement. And thanks for the balloons. And then we have the therapy plans that are 10-day deeper exploration for those longer nagging issues. But I'm always here to help. It really is a platform about education. And so one of the greatest joys for me is that I get to interact and answer, these questions that have been nobody's been able to kind of make sense of for you. I promise you, you are not broken. I promise you, you're not the only person who is suffering from frozen shoulder at 52 or plantar fasciitis. And it takes time and it takes consistency to resolve these longstanding issues, but it doesn't take more effort. It doesn't take going harder. It takes a different way of listening and understanding how these pain points connect to the rest of your structure. So, super excited to see you on the platform. Please, please, please DM me if you have any questions, fascia related. And yeah. I wish everybody a great day. If there's no more questions, we can all move on to our coffee. Okay. Thanks for joining, everybody. Really great to see you. Aw, thanks. And yeah, I will be looking for you in my DMs. I know you have questions, so if you don't want to ask them here, I get it. But let's get them answered once and for all. Yeah. Okay. Bye, guys. Have a great day. Stay warm. It's freezing here in Brooklyn.